wrote a little something for my grandma. So I was lucky enough to be Nelia's first grandchild. And some of my earliest memories, she spoiled me rotten. It seemed like I was the perfect little angel. Then my brother came along. It wasn't just me anymore, but it was alright, because she had so much love to give. There was still room for more. Grandma loved the time she spent with family, created so many memories to last a lifetime. From the trips to the Bryce Canyon, Puerto Vallarta, and Disney World, to the way she always insisted that I sat on her lap. Even when I was way too old to sit on her lap. I'm gonna miss her smile, her laugh, her listening ear, and all of her wisdom and advice. I'm lucky to have had her in my life, and I'll always miss her.
Can we just acknowledge her vocabulary? Oh my, tell them about that. Oh my, come here. Okay. I just gotta say, so I would like, this isn't even working. Oh, you turned it off. Okay, there we go. So I would always like send her random words. I said, don't look this up, but what does this mean? And so how long was it? Probably like 8 days before she went. I sent her, don't look this up, but what does ornithologist mean? Does anybody know what ornithologist?
Study birds.
Yes.
Only because you said that.
Yes.
Study a what?
So you have to
Hold
like
on. Some of us are old.
ornithologist, ornithology.
What is it?
It's a study of birds.
Oh.
And so I had learned that from someone random. And she was like, well, yes, of course, bird brain. And I was like, well, of course you would know that. But that was 8 days. 8 days before. And it was just like the endless vocabulary of any word. She's like, oh, yes, of course. This is what that means. And I'm like, how? But yeah, that was what I forgot to say earlier. But MJ, did you actually want to say anything today? I'm just gonna cry, so no. Okay. Anybody else?
I just want to go. What Robin didn't say at the funeral. Oh yes.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play picnic on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat your something between your toes.
Wait a minute, I have it.
Okay, we're gonna sing this only because Mom's been singing this to me for since
Ryan's face is like,
wait.
what are you
This is what
doing
she's
right
doing.
now?
We will. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat the jelly between your toes, and then you turn a putrid green, and the pus rolls out like a whipping cream. You spread it on a piece of bread, and that's what you eat when you are dead.
So that's why she got cremated. She doesn't have to worry about the worms crawling in and out and eating yours now.
Wait, okay, come on, Megan.
That was the song that she was
I
referencing.
did tell her.
That nobody
I told
knew.
her once that she would make an exquisite cadaver. I told her.
Well, Dave was singing the tuberculosis song
here we
the
go.
other day.
Come on, Dave. Come on, ready?
No.
My body has tuberculosis. My body has only one lung. Ryan. It spits up a bloody corruption and dries it and chews it like gum. Yum, yum. Come up, come up, come up. my dinner, come up, come up.
We
Come
were
up,
saying it yesterday.
come up, my dinner, come up.
That was Nelia.
That's what
She would sing to us.
as children. Anyone else?
I'm sorry. I had to put a good light on things. On that note, sorry. That was kind of light it up.
That was a real highlight, actually. So I don't know how to follow it up, but I just wanted to say the interesting quirks of Nelia, like just knowing her her obituary book. Has anybody seen this?
We have it with us. We have it with us. We have 3.
She wanted the perfect obituary, and it made me grow an obsession with obituaries to where I've looked them up on KSL for the longest time. I mean, I don't read them all, but I highlight to the ones of the extremely old or the extremely young, and I try to figure out why
they died.
Yes, and then anytime I find a really good written obituary, then I save it. because that's what she would do. She would save it. Other things that I think are just uniquely her. My goodness. So I brought my cat over for the last visit, and the cat had never been on a leash before. It was pretty dramatic. Yes, it was screaming, but as soon as she saw that cat, she just reached for it, came upright, and was like, ah! And then I knew I was okay. I wasn't getting in trouble. I thought I was going to be in trouble by Robin for bringing a cat in her house.
So you were like, she wanted me to bring the cat.
She did. She insisted that I bring the cat. Actually, she insisted that I bring her to PetSmart to go look at the adoptable cats every Saturday, but because logistics, I didn't take her with me. But there's just so many amazing memories of just her that I can't even explain all of the great ones, but those are some of them. I mean, since we're all family here, I could say that, like, your grandma, your mom, my grandma, she used to tell stories. I mean, every single thing in her house had a different story to it, and I've listened to them. I was captivated. Well, one day we were trying to get Sean. We had to go pick him up from, he did a stint in jail. And we went to go pick him up, and we were like an hour late because your grandma brought me in. She kept telling me all these stories, and they were just amazing, and I couldn't stop her and be like, we got somewhere to go. And it's funny because Sean was just sitting outside of the jail, and the guys are like, usually your loved ones are here to pick you up. Like, do you not have anybody? And it was just because we were so captivated by her stories that she always had to tell us that we just couldn't break her apart. And, you know, she loved the hell out of every one of us. And I'm forever lucky for being part of the family. And, yeah, I wish I could share more stories that are amazing, but those are the things that came to my mind just upright. So.
The first time she met him, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous. And I was like, what? Like old women? And she loved MJ so much. And called him and texted him.
Mine.
Oh, yeah, he's mine. He's not yours, he's mine. Every time it's right on his neck. And I'm like, oh. You go watch that before I do that.
I have something. I remember. I always thought she was so perfect, you know. And anyway, I think it was Thanksgiving, she was making a pie, and it wasn't working, and so she started feeding it.
Oh, yeah.
And she used to feed up cakes.
She killed them.
She killed a lot of cakes, a lot of pies, and that's when I realized I really loved her because she could just be who she was.
She was a lot like you. Huh?
Yeah.
Cover it with frosting and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Any stories?
Or the
Any stories?
daiquiris.
Yo, I actually bought a bunch of strawberry daiquiris.
We got it.
And just eat them
Oh,
afterwards.
you guys know the recipe? We tried them in North Carolina. It did not work.
Well, that's because your grandpa had the greatest
Well, she
strawberry
told me-
daiquiri record. They don't make the Bacardi stuff anymore.
She told me
Yeah.
I just bought the
that
pre-made
the secret ingredient is a chunk of the wooden spoon.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
But that's when you're like blending it, and the blender cuts up the wooden
so you have to
spoon.
stab the
You gotta
spoon in
stab the spoon in there, and then the lid comes off in the
Yep,
spoon.
that's
But that was your grandpa's recipe. Your grandma used to do the potato salad, and I found out the secret recipe to her potato salad was sugar.
Yes.
Sugar. She put sugar in potato salad. That's why it tasted so good.
I just think it's odd, the stuff, because there's things that like I would recognize as things you put in the fridge and things you put in the cupboard.
Yeah.
But your mom told me a whole nother thing. Like, she put stuff that belonged in the cupboard, or like belonged in the fridge in the cupboard.
Like the banana chocolate chip cookies with expired ingredients.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's great, thanks.
That's fine.
I know.
Yeah, it's the best bite.
Okay, I got one.
That's why.
Oh, Jay's got one.
I got one.
So wait, take a second.
Okay, so I was probably in about the third or fourth grade. And I was walking home from school, and we lived near here, and there were some kids from Cosgriff that would pull me over and shake me down, and they were, hey kid, what do you got there? And it wasn't anything rough, but they'd go through my stuff, and what'd you do at school today? What is that? And I was like, this went on for about a week, and finally it was kind of bugging me, and I told Mom, and I said, these kids are kind of hassling me, and she was just pissed. She said, who? Where? And I said, oh, Mom, it's no big deal. I don't want to talk about it. Well, that house over there. And so, not only did those kids never bother me again, I never saw them again after that. So I don't know what she did. So she was my enforcer. She was, yeah. All right, that's it.
No, watch. I'll be driving back to St. George. Oh man, I should have told them this story.
I'm sure you have some good ones.
I do. But a lot of these stories I can't say to you guys.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, whatever.
It makes you homeless.
I don't think you want me to mention anything.
Oh, Lee has a story.
He has a story. Go to the front, go to the front, go to the front.
Rob and I are best friends when we were 5, and we lived right across the street. Most of you guys know this story already, but
You need the mic.
we lived right across the street from Robin, and so Robin would invite me. No thanks. Hold
Hold it back there, hold it back there.
She doesn't invite me for sleepovers, and I could never make it through the night. I'd always go home homesick, crying, and I just lived across the street. I don't know why I was such a baby, but like the third time, Robin's mom said, "Well, how about we'll give you half a baby aspirin." And that worked.
Just drug her, that's the answer.
I don't know who to call for medical advice now. When Sean got overly sunburned in Florida a few years ago because I brought a bunch of Manager Special sunscreen, and it was already
all
bad.
expired.
It's all expired.
We were burnt to a crisp.
I crisped my entire family up, including myself, so I'm not free of this. But Sean's head swelled huge, like a balloon, like excess water. I called your mom, and I was like, is it safe enough to get on an airplane with him? Because I think his head's going to explode. And she told me that he should be fine. But yeah, I don't know who I'm going to explain.
I would send her pictures of like bodily fluids. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, that's that. I'm like, okay, I'm not dying. We're good.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was always helpful when she was.
Yeah, it was nice to have a nurse in the
You're gone. When we just need some Alma love, how would you like to be remembered? When we need your advice, what would you tell us? What would you like to say to us or for us to know? What would you like for us to hold on to? So she said, this is a great question for you to ask me. The fact that you ask is probably unusual for a young person to care about what someone really thinks. At least among my immediate friends whose kids and grandkids are nowhere or as attentive as mine. So I very often say how very fortunate I am because my family is so caring about me. I do hope that you will all remain close as a family because family means so much, and the times I enjoy the most are, I'm being distracted, sorry. The times that I enjoy the most are when we are all together. When we all used to get together for holidays, before we got so spread out and everybody had in-laws, I used to say I loved watching everyone interacting. I didn't need to know what was being said, I just loved watching my family all together. As far as what you hold on to, I would hope first would be your relationship with Christ. Things change, but the need for His guidance in your life never does. Being kind to people makes for a better world for all. Making an effort to get along makes it easier and more pleasant for you. You don't have to put up with having bad feelings with others. If they are like that, who needs to put up with them anyway? I do hope you remember, as long as you are on this earth, that you were very loved by us from the moment you appeared until we were gone. And I'll be sitting up on my cloud, still loving you from up there. So remember, we're up there, always watching you.
Nice.